into there. We're going to drop some of the cloud colour. Let that diffuse in. And then drop in some of the mounting colour underneath for all the reflections. And come straight down into the water so that it shows depth rather than just going across the page. And we can leave a thin line of paper across the top there, where the surf can be going up and hitting the far shores. This side we can go a little bit darker on. You can work into it as long as it's wet, without overworking. Okay. Now for the foreground, I'm going to be using mostly browns, just putting in a basic foreground, because this is all that this has been, is just showing how the hake is very versatile. Things can be done in one sweep as long as the water content is looked after within the bristles. So we'll put in a very, very basic foreground. Can mix some more colours up into that, just to break it up a little bit. Put some darks in. Touch of the crimson. The only difference I'm going to be doing now is moving from one extreme to the other and going with a rigger. Now obviously I don't have to explain, I'm sure, to everybody what a rigger brush and its origins were, but in this case I'm just going to be using it just to put in some posts within the water, rather than using the side of the hake, and then bring out a reflection underneath. If we do them at different levels, and we'll put one over here within this bit of water that's showing here, so that we can make it a little bit more interesting and show that the water is coming down there with the reflection. Now one side of that. We'll just try and make that a little bit darker. And a variance of colour a little bit. And now at the bottom here, if we have any parts that may look a little bit like interesting shapes that you might have sometimes that appear on the paper, make them into rocks or anything else that you think might be on a shoreline, just by putting a line up and going around them. Over here I might head just into here, just to break up and add a little bit of texture. Because here it won't be level with the water, we can put in a little bit of depth onto those there. And on this side, just to show that it's higher than the waterline. Okay. Now the other thing that may be growing there are some reeds, so I'll just get some more blue. No, I'll use my usual colours for greens, which is Payne's grey and lemon yellow. So I'll get some lemon, a bit of lemon yellow. A drop more Payne's grey, and using this combination it will give you every range of green that you need, and because you're using Payne's grey and not a blue, you don't necessarily have to add in an earth colour to make your greens up, so that they look more natural. With having the Payne's grey, that will give them more of a natural look, and all you're doing is adding in or putting in more or less of the yellow within the mix to give you every range from a very pale yellow green to a dark emerald green. I'll just get a bit, make it a bit thicker, take some water off the brush, and we can stroke some, perhaps some reeds going in and growing up. Add a bit more Payne's grey into the mix, get a darker green to go with that, for some that they may be in shadow. Here on this side. Now I think the only thing it needs now is to make sure it is completely dry and then put in a couple of boats. See you in a bit.